Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got something I want to share with you. Just a few minutes that's really going to bless you. I want to give you a recap of today's event that we had at the Freedom Church Black Male Empowerment Now Youth Seminar. And I just had to come over here and share with you the impact that I experienced today, that I watched today, that I witnessed today, that was absolutely mind-boggling, life-changing. I've done a lot of events in my life, and I literally mean a lot. From workshops to seminars to speaking to colleges and universities, businesses, boardrooms, corporations, church events. But today I witnessed something that was probably one of the highlights of my life. It's looking in the eyes and the faces of young Black boys, middle school and high school, and seeing a hunger that was just mesmerizing. To look in the eyes of young Black boys in high school and middle school and to see their thirst for male leadership, guidance, wisdom, correction. It was powerful for me as the CEO and the founder of the Black Male Empowerment Now movement, as well as a pastor, a father of 3 children. Today was something to behold. Absolutely amazing. I wanted to come over here and share with you some of the responses that we got today at the end of the seminar. And this is just a handful. I left most of them over there on my other desk, but I did grab a few of these and highlight some of the comments and statements that they made in reference to the event. There were 4 questions on the questionnaire. What did you like about today's event? What did you learn? Do you recommend other Black boys attend these events? And then why? And those were like the 4 questions that we gave them for our survey. We had about 30 boys be registered for today's event. And it was just absolutely phenomenal. I want to share with you their response in their own words. And I've just highlighted a few. I'd be here all day if I tried to read everything that everybody wrote. But I have been impacted today. And I must admit, I've been thoroughly impressed. This individual, to the question, what did you like about today's event? This young man said, it was awesome. You can learn a lot. What did you learn? That God changes lives. Do you recommend other Black boys attend these events? Yes, you can learn a lot. The next young man, to the question, what did you like about today's event? Very inspiring event. What did you learn? How to be a successful Black man. Do you recommend other Black boys attend these events? He writes, of course, other Black boys can learn the stuff I learned. Why? He says, to learn right and wrong and to be a successful Black male. Another young man wrote today to the survey, what did you like about today's event? He says, how the pastor taught us how we should live. What did you learn? That to make money, you have to spend money and not play all day. Do you recommend other Black boys attend these events? He responded, yes, I do highly. Why? Because they will learn that God is good. Again, I'm reminding you, these are the responses from middle school and high school young black boys. This individual had this response that really stood out to me to this question. Do you recommend other boys attend these events? He writes, yes. Why? Because you can learn a lot from this. Another young man asked the question, what did you like about today's event? He was asked this question. His answer was, I like the way the people were able to be transparent with us and make time to try to support us. I also love the way everyone kept it real with us. What did you learn? I learned that I can better myself no matter my situation. Powerful. I'm going to read these because I took some time to highlight just some of the ones that really stood out to me. Here's another young man asked the question, what did you like about today's event? He says the speakers were very open about their bad decisions and their mistakes. Shout out to my son, Anthony Troywin II. He was one of my guest speakers. And shout out to my mentee, one of my mentees, Jonathan Oliver. He spoke as well and shared some insight from his own personal struggles and success in life. And it was just really some real transparent truth that showed these young men that we all make mistakes, but the mistakes don't have to make you. This individual answered these questions. What did you like about today's event? His answer was honesty. What did you learn? He says, I learned, watch this, to manage money, be responsible, and don't fall into the system. Again, these are black high school and middle school boys. Do you recommend other black boys attend these events? He responds, yes. Asked why, he says, honesty with us, and it gives us hope and it motivates us. Wow. Another young man, when asked this particular question, his answer stood out here for me. Do you recommend other black boys attend these events? He said, yes. Then he was asked why. His response was, most people I know need it. Couple more. This young man was asked, what did you like about today's event? He says, today's event has opened my eyes to another plan, to be careful to myself and my spiritual side. See, man, we talked about the fact that God has plans for us, plans to prosper us, plans not to harm us, plans to give us hope, and plans to give us a future. And one of the critical things that I said that really resonated with the boys was that the devil has plans too, that God isn't the only one that has plans for them or for us. And I told them that the devil's plans are always the opposite of God's plans. So we taught them how to juxtapose God's plans against the devil's plans. If God's plans are to prosper you, then Satan's plans are to do what? To make sure you're not prosperous. So that really blessed them to know that there were two sets of plans out there. And then we taught them how to recognize a plan and how to really figure out the root of the plan and who it was really coming from. Powerful, powerful time, I promise you. Here's another guy, same questions. What did you like about today's event? He says, it gave me a money mindset. And I'm going to tell y'all something we did right at the end of me sharing with you what made this a phenomenal seminar that I hosted, put together, and I'm super proud of the results. He says it gave me a money mindset. No, he's saying that because we talked about money. One of the portions today was about business, about finances, about money. I'm going to tell you something we did that those boys have never seen anybody do. What did you learn? He says, I learned to set aside money and watch it multiply. Do you recommend other black boys attend these events? He says, yes. Why? They could gain from it, and we need more empowerment in our community. These are young black boys, middle school and high school. Very articulate. So impressed with the level of intelligence that these young men presented today. At the very beginning of our seminar, after I had, I think, given my first session, I literally had to pause and just commend them for their intelligence. Their answers oftentimes were even better than some of the adult answers I have when I'm teaching and doing classes. And I was just extremely amazed. It proved my point, and I've been saying this for years, is that I believe this generation is a genius generation. They are the brightest generation that we've ever seen. Now, we don't often get to see that genius or that brightness because there are so many things that convince them to dumb themselves down, not to give full effort, to just kind of slide by and hide in the background. But today we saw their intelligence on full display when they were provided the opportunity to rise up to a challenge, to be articulate, to communicate, to project their voices. We talked about that today, that when you speak, I told them, I said, you whisper to your girlfriend, you don't whisper to me. When you answer a question, you answer it like a young man. Project your voice. Your voice has power. And it was amazing because there was a shift when we began asking them questions. Their voices were very soft. Their voices were very whispery. But once I explained to them the power of the Black man's voice, the power of a young Black man's voice, you could see a transformational shift in them sitting up straight and projecting their voice, making sure they were heard across the room. It was just beautiful to watch. And their receptiveness is what really blew me away today, guys. They almost made me cry. They almost made a grown man cry. But I sucked that up and said, not today. Y'all not going to get me like this today. It was good, though. We laughed and had such a great time. Fellowship, impartation, camaraderie, powerful. I got a couple more, and then I'll tell you what we did that really blew their minds, and then I'm going to be done for today. Got to get ready for tomorrow, Sunday morning at the Freedom Church. That's going to be amazing, too. This young man's response to this question, or a couple of questions, really stood out to me. What did you learn? He says, I learned how you don't have to be a rapper, an NBA player, or an NFL player to make it. Do you recommend other Black boys attend these events? He says, yes. Why? Because it will teach them to do the right thing. Last one, and then I'll tell you what we did that was so phenomenal to close out today. This guy impressed me with all of his answers to all 4 questions. What did you like about today's event? He said that we had fun, but we still learned something valuable. What did you learn? Work now and play later. Awesome. Do you recommend other Black boys attend these events? He answered yes. Then listen to this. When asked why, he responded, other Black boys should come because they can make a difference in the world instead of being dead at an early age. Wow. I don't know about you, but reading that kind of motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing because today we literally transform lives. We talked about a plethora of topics and subjects from God to faith, which they really enjoyed. They really appreciated that section more than I thought they would. We talked about business and finances. We talked about interaction with the police. We talked about the power of education, college, tech school, the military. We talked about the importance of graduating high school, using that education to find your way in this world and to be a contributor to society so that you aren't living with your mama when you're 30, 40, 50 years old, but you can go have your own house, your own car, live your life, travel the world, and be a real adult who's not still in somebody's pocket far longer than you should be. And they really enjoyed that and appreciated that. The business portion today was where I kind of ended it. And I taught them the power of having a business mindset. I told them about my upbringing where I bought my first car when I was 16 because I've been working ever since I was like 13 or 14, cutting grass, mowing lawns. My father had a janitorial business. We worked with him. My father had a a lawn care business where we cut trees and different things, and we worked with him. And I did different jobs trying to make money, picking up groceries for elderly people. I was a working young man because I always wanted to have my own finances. I wanted my own money. For some reason, I've always struggled with asking for help, and it bothered me to even ask my mother and father for $5. For some reason, it just bothered me. It's the hardest thing in the world to do. So I gave them an outline of the power of working, what you can do when you work, when you save your money, when you invest your money. And then I moved into a portion of the power and the importance of making money work for you so you don't have to work for money. And I taught them how you can actually spend money to make money. I told them about when I had a videography business that I ran for 15 plus years, how I invested in videography equipment, bought some of the best equipment, taught myself how to be a videographer, operated a 4-camera system, did weddings and all kind of events, shot infomercials and commercials, and did good in that business. Got into the photography business and did that for 15 years as well, bought photography equipment. And I showed them how I was buying things that could make me money instead of buying stuff that made no money. I would buy things that could make me money, video equipment, camera equipment, this, that, and the other. And they begin to understand the power of using money in order to increase your financial situation. Then I hypothetically asked them this question. I said, what would you do if somebody gave you $20 and challenged you to turn $20 into $40? How many of you would take that person up on that offer? How many of you feel like you could flip $20 legally? And we did talk about legally flipping $20 and turning it into 40, and then so forth and so on, and building your own wealth. And hands went up. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that if somebody did that. I said, okay, guys, well, I'm going to give every one of you $20 today. And you should have seen the look on their face. One guy, you could see his jaw drop, literally almost down to his chest. He was like, and as I began to pass out the $20 bills to every single young boy there, high school and middle school, you could see that they were stunned and shocked. One guy said, you got to be kidding. This is not real. You're joking, right? I said, I don't play the lottery. You have a better chance of winning. I'm not playing. I'm serious. I challenge every one of you to take this $20 bill and to go and turn it into $40. And I gave them a myriad of examples of literally how they could do that legally, how they could do it legally to flip $20, turn it into 40, and then continue that process of making money work for them. It was a powerful moment. And I said to many of them, I said, I know some of you are not going to flip it. I know some of you, because you've never been exposed to an opportunity like this, you're going to go to the store and buy a bunch of candy. You're going to waste it. And I said, that's okay. I'm cool with that. But what you won't be able to say is that nobody ever invested in you. What you won't be able to say is nobody ever gave you a chance. Nobody ever trusted you. Nobody ever taught you what to do and then gave you the tools to do it. This is the opportunity that you have. And we ended on that note, prayed with them, almost cried, but we didn't. Gave them lunch and sent them on their way. And we were there from 10 to 12. And I heard several of the boys say that they hated that it ended. Now, you got to understand, guys, this is a Saturday. You're talking middle school and high school Black boys. And many of them said to me personally, I hate it ended. Time went by too fast. It wasn't long enough. We were there from 10 to 12. It wasn't long enough. And we were supposed to break at 11:30 so that they could go sit down and eat their lunch. We fed them Chick-fil-A, and they would have 30 minutes to eat lunch. But the way everything went, it just was bananas. It was just nonstop that we literally had to stop a few minutes before 12, grab everybody, pray, hug each other, and then give them their lunch and send them out of the door, lunch in hand, because I had parents picking them up at 12. And it was just powerful for me to see their desire, their willingness, their excitement. When is the next one? When is the next one? I got to be at the next one. And several of the guys said, thank you, Pastor Troy. Nobody's ever done this for me. One guy said, man, I've never had anybody give me $20. Now that blew my mind. He says, I've never had anybody give me $20. $20, a whole $20 bill. Give me, I've never had anybody give me $20. He said, thank you. Things like that you can't put a price on. For me, number one, that's ministry. Because first and foremost, I'm a pastor, I'm a community leader. So part of me does this from a pastoral perspective. Then part of me does this from a parental perspective. I'm a father of 3. And I know the power and the impact of a Black man in the lives of Black children. You can't tell me. I know, I've seen it. My father impacted me so greatly because he was a Black male in my life who showed me a great work ethic, who showed me the value of family, who showed me the finer things in life, even though he couldn't afford it, even though it definitely wasn't in his budget. He went out of his way to make sure he took us to 5-star restaurants. He went out of his way to make sure he took us to 5-star resorts. He made every effort to expose his children to how the other side was living when he couldn't afford it. And I know he couldn't afford it because my mama was sewing our clothes. We were living in a single wide trailer. My daddy was driving a raggedy car and that the door would fly open on. But he saved and saved and saved. So during the summertime, he could expose his children to another life. So at least we could see it and know that it existed and know that we could accomplish and have if we would simply put our nose to the grind, not follow the masses, not be a copycat of the knuckleheads who aren't going anywhere and who are going to be in the same place 10 or 20, 30 years from now. He exposed us to that. And that exposure did something to me, it did something to our family. And that is what I'm attempting to do with this youth edition of the Black Male Empowerment Now movement. We also have a movement of the same name for adult men, and that will be the next gathering. It will be adult men on a Saturday that I will be meeting and pouring into and coaching, just like I did the young Black high school and middle school boys. What's phenomenal about today, though, is that this was the launching for our youth wing, I guess you could say, of the Black Male Empowerment Now. And for the boys that came today, they are the seeds of this movement of the Black Male Empowerment Now Youth Edition. And I told them today that we are going to go out and watch movies together, and I'll pick up the tab, popcorn and sodas. We're going to go out and have lunch together and go out and have dinner together, them and my team. And I'm going to expose them to a different life. We're going to load them up on the bus when COVID is over and take them to Atlanta and go to Dave and Buster's and go to Six Flags, and they won't have to pay a single dime. This is my commitment to this group of young men who obviously have a thirst and a hunger for some leadership and some guidance, and are willing to humble themselves, to sit and to listen. Today they were studious. Today they were taking notes. They had a notebook, and these boys were writing down things that were being said. And then if they missed it, they'd say, hey, could you go back and repeat that? I didn't get that part. It was phenomenal to see them do that. And it just confirmed my belief that this is not a lost generation, that we may have failed this generation more than many of us would like to admit. But we have got to go back, and we've got to understand that if we don't grab them and put them under our wings, then their failure is our fault in many cases. So I'm doing my part. Many of these young boys don't have fathers in their lives. They don't have a positive role model, a male Black role model in their lives. And today you could see a great sense of appreciation that somebody literally took time out of their busy schedule, not just to pour into them verbally, to pour into them financially. What you don't know, and I will share this with you, is because I'm hoping that many of you watching this will become sponsors and become supporters. You want to put your money in something and you want to be able to see where it's going and what it's doing. But here's a great example. Today we spent well over $1,000 pouring into the lives of men. We fed them, we educated them, we gave them all free books, free notebooks. Then we put money in their hands. How many seminars have you been to where you walked away with $20? Yeah, it's a different way. It gets their attention, and it shows that we believe in you and we don't want anything from you. No parent, no grandma, no auntie, no uncle. Nobody paid anything today for their sons, nephews to come and attend this event, or grandson. Nobody paid anything. They came freely and they walked away with over $1,000. $1,000 of value, $1,000 of material, $1,000 of food, $1,000 of cash. They walked away today forever changed. No, I don't expect that everybody will apply everything that was heard. I don't expect that everybody will take the $20 and flip it positively into 40. But if we reach just one, and from what I saw today, we're going to reach way more than one. And I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys what happened today. I'm asking you to consider, pray about supporting this initiative, this movement, and just know this: whether or not you support it, it's not going anywhere. I believe the purpose of finances and the purpose of blessings and the purpose of success is to be able to do these kind of things. But for those of you that love these kind of things and you want to put your money where your mouth is, you believe in Black boys, you believe in Black youth, high school, middle school, then join me as we pour into these young men and watch their lives change. And I'll give you a spoiler alert. We're working on something for young black girls too. Yep, we're working on something for young black girls, middle school and high school, just like today, just like what we did today. But that's coming later on down the pipe. I'm so excited and just glad to be able to do what I do. Well, I've got to go. Get ready for Sunday. If you don't have a church home, I'm going to invite you to church. Are you kidding me? Freedom Church is in Warner Robins, Georgia. Address is 820 North Houston Road. Service starts promptly at 11 a.m. I strongly encourage you to consider joining us. If you don't have a church home, I repeat, if you don't have a church home and you're normally home on Sunday mornings, chilling, relaxing, get dressed, come to church, 11 a.m. I promise you, no more than 75 minutes. No more than 75 minutes. Okay? You have my word. No more than 75 minutes. We'll have you in, have you out. But I promise you, you will be blessed tremendously and you'll be glad that you came. Well, I love you. Look forward to seeing you soon. Today was a great day. God bless everybody. Take care.